Okay, what is endo? What is exo?
Endo is outside of the body and exo is inside of the body.
Yeah, can anyone?
Endocrine glands within the body, sir.
Okay, good. Endo
Exocrine
is,
is outside the body, sir.
yeah, endo is inside, exo is
Outside.
outside. Okay, so how or what is the function of this exocrine glands?
Exocrine glands, sir, major function is sweat glands.
Good. Okay, waste material. Okay, elimination of waste material from the body, because as they are, okay, completely getting outside the body. Okay, so it doesn't mean that, okay, only elimination of the waste, okay, would be the function. For example, okay, mammary glands, etc. Eyes also, lacrimal glands. Okay, they secrete at one particular point. Okay, in the ears or the eyes. Okay, done. Next, what are endocrine glands? Within the body. So endocrine are also called as ductless glands because they don't have ducts. They don't open at one specific space on the surface or skin of the organism. Okay, so we talked about exocrine or endocrine.
Endocrine, sir.
Good. So why is it important? Why are we looking at only endocrine glands?
It is within the body.
Yeah, as they are secreted within the body, they are called ductless or tubeless. So they would be secreted directly into the bloodstream, and this is how they show influence on the functioning of the body, and ultimately behavior of a person is getting affected. Okay, good. So under that we discussed about.
In that, 6 glands are there, sir.
Okay, good. First one.
Pituitary gland is master gland.
Good. So why are we calling it as a master gland?
It will regulate the glands.
Yeah, functioning of other glands. So that is the reason it's called pituitary, the master gland. Okay, like for example, TSH. Okay, thyroid stimulating hormone, growth hormone. Okay, gonadotrophic, that is, okay, gonads, testis, etc. So all this would be regulated by the pituitary gland. Then we talked about thyroid. So where thyroid would be? Neck region. They secrete. They secrete. Okay, thyroid will secrete thyroxine. Okay, the main function is metabolism and growth. So thyroxine secretion we require iodine. So that is the reason government, okay, talked about iodized salt. Then, okay, adrenal gland. So where are these adrenal glands present? Above each
Kidneys.
kidneys. Above
Kidneys.
each kidneys. Good. Okay. So what are they secreting, or what is the function? Fight or flight mechanism.
Flight.
Okay,
Fight or flight.
flight mechanism. Okay, so as we know, sympathetic and parasympathetic, one will prepare the body to face the emergency, the other would be making it come back to the normal. So both the actions or both the functions would be carried out with the help of these particular hormones only, okay, secreted by adrenal glands. That is the reason it's called flight or flight hormones. The next we talked about pancreas. So pancreas will secrete insulin. Okay, insulin function is to
Regulate the
sugar
insulin
level.
level in the body, sir.
yes, okay,
Blood.
it will regulate, or they will try to decrease or break down glucose into the storable form. Okay, then the glucagon, the other hormone, okay, which will try to bring it back to glucose. Okay, good. The next we talked about gonads or 6 organs. Okay, testis and ovaries. Testis will secrete testosterone, ovaries, okay, estrogen and progesterone. progesterone have a role to play in at the time of pregnancy. Okay, then we will move on to the next topic, which is called as nature versus nurture. Okay, what can be nature according to you? So what are we talking about? Nature? Are we talking about what type of nature you have, or what it is all about? Okay, so there is a concept called nature versus nurture, okay, which basically talks about, is it behavior influenced by what you acquired at the time of birth? That is inheritance, what you are by nature, by birth. The other one is nurture, okay, which is talking about the environment where you are raised. I repeat, nature is talking about the dominance or the importance or the influence of heredity. Nurture is talking about the environment where you are raised. Now the question is open to you. So according to you, which will have impact? So which will have impact? So what you are acquiring at the time of birth, or the rearing, or where you have been raised, the circumstances or the environment or the society have influence on the behavior. So what you think about it?
It's
Any idea?
about where we are raised, sir.
Okay, nurture you mean to say. Okay, environment. Okay, good. As of now, I will take it up.
Both are affected, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Then next, anyone?
Nature depends upon a human being, sir.
Nature. You mean to tell inheritance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay,
Nurture means surrounding.
good. So which will have effect on the person? Which is more dominating?
Yes. Sir.
Nurturing will be more dominating, I think, sir.
Okay. Yeah, what about Srinivas? Did Srinivas come? Yes, Srinivas. What do you think? Sandeep, did you come? Vamsi? Just think about it. Shrikant, what do you think?
So it depend upon the where he's staying. Sir.
Where he is staying? You mean to tell environment will have impact on the person behavior? Okay.
So both will have. Sir.
Both will have. Okay. Who's that?
If the person is not going outside
Shrikant.
in the
Okay.
house, so this nature instincts will be influenced.
Mm-hmm.
If he is reading, studying, learning things, is going outside, then nature will have more impact.
Okay, nature will have more impact compared to the inherited characteristics. Okay.
Yes.
Manoj, what do you think? Is sister present? Okay, she is present.
100%了呀，你要带头去把खत्म हो गई 2 बातें जे याद बताना को हमने बाबा से बता नहीं जा
Katija,
मर्दा भी कबूल होती नहीं तुम्हारे खे दो जा मैं कबूल
Katija, we are listening everything. It's getting recorded also. Okay, she realized now. So according to you, so some of them said, okay, it's the inheritance, and some of them said, okay, the place where you are raised. Okay, let's see. Okay, so as we, yeah, go ahead. No, you take care of yourself. Sensitive information has been recorded, so other people are also listening to it. Okay, except that nothing. Yeah. So when we're talking about the nature, inheritance, so how we inherit characteristics, how the mechanism. So mechanism of heredity. what are the functional units of heredity? Inheritance. So what is the subject which is talking about inheritance? Good. Sandeep always asks about page numbers. Good. Okay. So what is the subject which is talking about inheritance? Write down genetics. So genetics is a subject which talks about this particular inheritance. Okay, so when we talk in terms of nature, so we're talking about inheritance of characteristics. Okay, so before getting into the mechanism of inheritance, so how many chromosomes we have?
24.
23 pair.
46, sir.
23 pair.
Good, good. 23 pair or 46, good. Okay, Shrestha saying 44, I guess. Okay, good. 44 or 24, something like that. Okay, good. So how these particular things happen? So how I getting these 23 pairs or 46? Forty-six chromosomes.
Sir, 44 are autosomes and 2 are sex chromosomes.
Good, good. So 22 pairs of them are remaining same. Okay, they're called as autosomes. Okay, only one pair. Okay, that is called as a sex chromosome, or that is going to determine the gender of a person at the time of conceiving, etc. Okay, egg, then sperm giving rise to zygote. So there it has been decided, okay, what is the combination of this particular one pair of sex chromosomes. Okay, so all the 23 are remaining same. Okay, then next, so what is the makeup of this particular male and female genders? If it is XX combination, it is called as
Female, sir.
in the female combination. Okay, XY,
Male.
okay, male. Okay, that is the makeup. Okay, so at the time of inheritance, so we are acquiring half of the chromosomes from both the parents. Okay, then when it comes to the last pair, okay, if it is XX from mother, XY from father, if X is combining with the X, it is giving rise to
Female.
as simple as that. Okay, if it is a combination of X and Y, it is giving rise to a
Male.
male child. Okay, simple concept. So we get equal from both the parents. Okay, as we talked about the 23 pair which is deciding the gender of the baby. If it is the combination, for example, X chromosome of mother is combining with the X chromosome of father, it is giving rise to a female child. Or if it is the X from the mother and if it is Y from the father, the combination is giving rise to a male child. So this is how you acquire characteristics or the inheritance you getting equally from both the male, that is the either of the parents. Up to here it's clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how male and female are formed and how we acquire half of the genetic material from both the parents. Okay, chromosomes are made up of what? So as we have, nervous cell is made up of what? The nervous system is made up of nerve cell.
Nucleus.
Okay, we will come to nucleus. Okay, so nervous system is made up of
Nerve cell.
nerves or nerve cell. So chromosomes are made up of
DNA.
DNA or the genetic material, genes, what we call it. Okay, so this genetic material can be two types. Okay, DNA, as your friend said, what is the full form of DNA?
Dioxy.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Deoxyribonucleic acid. So then we have another one which is called as RNA. What is RNA?
Ribonucleic acid.
Simple. If you add a D, it will become DNA. If you remove that D, it will become RNA. So where is this DNA present and where is this RNA present?
RNA present in multicellular organism
Good.
and single virus
Good.
have RNA.
Okay, Khatija looks to be a biology teacher. Good. Is it? Khatija? Your biology teacher? Yes, sir. Good. Okay, generally, so they're talking about, okay, all biology. Okay, so we animals or like, okay, higher animals or human beings, they have this particular DNA. When we're talking about the other organisms, they have RNA. So we have DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, we have the structure of chromosome also, double helical structure and all that. Okay, so that all will come under genetics. Okay, so there is a subject which is talking about this inheritance, that is called genetics. Okay, under that there is a area which particularly talks about, okay, how this, okay, humans acquire characteristics and how it is getting transmitted from, okay, one generation to the other generation and how it can be improved. Okay, so that is one part. So under that they're talking about, so how we acquire, so how we try to improve, or how these are carried from one generation to the other generation. So that is called as behavioral genetics, the field of psychology that undertakes the task of studying or classifying the role of inheritance in the development of behavioral characteristics is called as behavioral genetics. So that is the area, so which talks about this particular, okay, influence, or how this particular behavior is developed or get influenced by our inherited materials. Okay, that is, okay, behavioral genetics. So they have conducted experiments. Okay, so when we're talking about in terms of inheritance, so what experiments can be conducted? Just think about. So how can we decide, yes, there is a role or there is influence of genetic material? Just think about what experiments can be conducted. Or for example, like movies like, okay, Amar Akbar Anthony kind of movies. Three brothers getting lost somewhere, getting raised in different okay, families, backgrounds. Will all they be going to be the same?
No, sir.
Yeah, so likewise, so when we talk about, so how inheritance is going to have impact on the behavior of a person, so they have conducted experiments on children. So these children, okay, like for example, identical twins and the general twins, or what we call as, okay, fraternal twins. Then they have checked, okay, what is the similarity of behavior among them when they rise within the family and when they are raised at different families. Okay, then what do you think? What can be the relationship? Think about. So identical are the one where one sperm, one egg, okay, they will develop into two, whereas the other one separate, okay, one egg, one, okay, sperm will give rise to one, the other one, okay, other egg and other sperm. Identical is one dividing into two. When we're talking about, okay, dizygotic or fraternal, so there are twins but they have developed from separate egg and separate zygote. So identical twins, as they are developed from the same egg and same sperm, they are taken as more identical, or they are very much similar with regard to their behavioral characteristics or what they are acquiring. So these tests have shown that, okay, they are very much identical. Their behaviors or the way they respond was very much similar when compared to the non-identical twins. So this says that yes, genetic material have influence, or what is making up a person is deciding how the person is going to react. So they're called as predispositions, because we are already having these behavioral characteristics as acquired. So that is going to decide, okay, so that is going to, okay, make a person how to react. So this was with regard to experiments conducted on identical, that is monozygotic twins, and fraternal, that is dizygotic twins. Up to here is clear? Okay, they
So
are called
repeat
as
once again, sir.
twin studies. Okay, they have conducted on normal children and twins. So even within twins also, monozygotic, that is one egg, one sperm, okay, when they form zygote, so that zygote is dividing into two, either two males or two females, twins, identical twins we call them. Okay, the other one is a non-identical twins, where yes, they are twins but they are developed from separate egg and separate, okay, sperm cells. Okay, if you want, you can write down page number 83. So that is talking about all genetics or twin studies. So when we talked in terms of correlation or how closely they are related, so identical twins shade, okay, maximum characteristics. They are very much identical because they are developed from one single egg and one single sperm. When it comes to non-identical, that is when they developed from, okay, different, okay, egg and sperm. So non-identical twins can be both males or both females, or it can be one boy or one girl. Okay, you might have observed twins. Did you see twins?
Yes,
Have
sir.
you twins?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Both
Yes,
can
sir.
be, okay, both can be male or both can be female. Sometimes they can be a
Male and female.
boy and a girl. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So in that case, okay, it is non-identical twins. When we're talking about identical, they may be both male only or both female only. Okay, so that is the relationship. So when they are identical, when they are, okay, formed from the same egg, same sperm, that is single one, so they are very much identical, which says that they share the same genetic material. Yes, so genetic material is having an impact on, so how we are going to react in terms of our behavior. Okay, and also they have found that when it is coming to So what are they going to be, or what is the possibility that they may develop like diabetes or etc. So if one of the identical twins is having, so especially if it is a monozygotics, there is every possibility that the other person may also develop. So this is also shows that, okay, because of the genetic makeup, so this is how they are prone or suspected to certain chronic diseases also. So this is with regard to genetic material. And when it comes to the nurture part, that is the environment where they were raised, so they were raised in a different okay environments. Okay, so when they were raised in different environments, so though they were identical, or we can expect them how they are going to react, but based on the environment, based on, okay, their surroundings, based on their parents, how they used to react, so that have also influenced this particular people, though they are expected to react in such a way, but that was either increased or decreased based on, okay, the environment. Okay, so this is also supporting or suggesting that environment will also have impact on this particular, okay, formation of behavior of a person. For example, if a person is very intellectual, so if he is raised in a very good environment, and if he is provided with good opportunities in terms of like schooling etc., so what is going to be? And if the other, if you're talking about same identical twin, if maybe he is raised in a not very good environment, so will they going to be equal?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, what genetics is saying, yes, they are acquiring same characteristics, but the place where they are raised is also going to decide. Okay, for example, JB Watson says that, okay, if the person is being raised with criminals, and we talked about, okay, being equally intellectual, one person is going to a school or a college or is into an education setting, the other person is rising with criminals, so is intelligence going to play a role?
No, sir.
For example, that person may become a highly educated person in terms of intelligence. So if this person is having intelligence, where he will be using this intelligence? Can he become a very intellectual criminal?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You getting me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, they are having certain levels of, okay, inherited characteristics, but how they are used or based on the environment, okay, so that is going to take the further shape. For example, if the person is into a nice educational setting and all that, okay, he may become a scientist or a teacher, or he may be at a very good position. Or the other person, if he's raised with criminals, or if he's into the negative side, maybe he's excelling in this negative area. Okay, so this is how we have a Don and we have brother who is
Yes.
police.
Sir.
You got me now?
Yes, sir.
Both are intellectuals, but one person is being into the other side, so he is becoming, okay, successful there. The other person who is into the other one, so he is excelling in his own field. Okay, up to here it's clear.
Yes, sir.
So this is how, so this particular controversy is been from the starting. So some said, okay, no, it is about the inheritance that is going to decide the behavior of a person or what a person is going to be. And the other people, especially behaviorist J.B. Watson, especially have come up with a statement saying, okay, the behaviorists have come up with a statement saying that, okay, so if you raise a child in one particular environment, what you want to make him? So he says, okay, give me a dozen children. So if I want him to become a thief or a dacoit or a doctor or a lawyer, so if I raise them in that particular environment, the person is going to become that. So that is according to behaviorist. So behaviorist, they strongly believed that stimulus and response. Did you remember that? Behaviorist school of psychology. So stimulus and behavior.
Response.
So, yes. So those people, they strongly believe that environment is going to decide. And some people, they have said, genetics. And this is how the latest or the modern findings suggest that both are equally important. That is the reason if a person is into a very positive environment, he may excel in that positive areas. And if a person, maybe by chance, if he's not getting all that encouragement or positivity or the nice environment, maybe this particular inherited ability of intelligence would be used in the different way. Okay, so both are equal. And what we are is not only because of what we have acquired, but also the environment where we are raised, because environment is deciding, or it is also teaching us when we interact with this particular environment. Okay, so nativism is a concept where they say that every person is born blank, and it is the environment or the experience which is making the person, or it is being written in the mind of a person, and that is going to decide how the person is going to be. John Locke is a person, philosopher. He said, tabuli rasa, or a blank slate. Every person is born blank. It is the experiences or the environment, the way he is interacting, so that is being experienced, and it is becoming part of the person's mind, and this is how it is going to decide the future course of action. So based on these experiences, whenever it's coming across, so based on the previous experience, the person is going to react based on his experience. You agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is a concept called tabula rasa, or a blank slate. He says everyone is born blank, but the environment or the experiences are giving a person or teaching a person what or how he should deal with the is consequences. This is with regard to nature versus nurture controversy. So there are equal studies which suggest inheritance as well as the nurturing. So we cannot rule out any one, and we cannot say it is only because of environment or it is only because of the inheritance, but both are equally important. The best example can be, if you have acquired intelligence, if it is nicely given opportunities, you become a scientist or a teacher or a very knowledgeable person. If you lack that, and if you are into a negative or not very good environment, maybe that intelligence would be taking the other form, like a antisocial behaviors, and you try to excel in that area. So this can be the best examples, or even our movies, so-called movies, are also talking about this particular concept. Up to here is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you can talk about genetics, chromosomes. So 23 pairs, 22 remain same. The 23rd pair is the only one which is deciding. So this is how you acquire equally from both the parents, but it doesn't mean that we behave equally like both the parents, because some characters would be dominating, the other would be non-dominating. So which are going to be dominant? So we are not deciding, it is by the nature we are getting decided. So whichever would be the dominant characteristics, so that would be acquired and that would be shown, the other won't be visible to us. That is the reason we try to resemble either of the parents or any one of them like. Then we will start up with the other block or the unit which is called as sensation and perception. Can you start?
Sir.
Yes.
Okay, then the unit, it talks about sensory process. Okay, what is sensory? Or they're talking about sensation.
Sensations.
We're not talking about sensational news. Okay. Okay. So sensation. Okay. Sensation is when you experience, okay, sensations or the stimulations from the environment. Okay, so how are we experiencing so-called sensation or the surroundings? So with the help of what you are trying to get information, take up information. So generally, how you take up information?
Sense organs.
Excellent. We got sense organs or specialized organs which have one specific function. You agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for example, if you're talking about eyes, eyes are specialized for which type of information?
Seeing.
Okay, visual.
Visual.
Okay, visual. Okay, information it will take up. Okay, if you have ears,
To hear.
For listening.
okay,
Auditory.
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 Good. Okay, I would like to know what are the sense organs we have actually. So sensation starts with the receiving of information from the environment through the specialized organs which are called as sense organs. So how many types of sense organs we have? What are they?
I guess 5, sir.
Nose,
Okay.
ear, tongue, and skin.
Okay, can anyone repeat again?
So
Eyes,
eyes,
nose, ear, tongue, and skin.
Okay, and skin also. So don't forget about skin.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these sense organs, as I said, they're specialized or they have receptors. So what are they having?
receptors.
Receptors.
Okay, receptors are the specialized cells which can take up one particular type of, okay, impulses only. Okay, eye receptors or the skin receptors. So when it comes to skin, what all we can sense?
Touch.
Hey Vishwanath, mute, no? Good. Skin, what is this?
By
What are the
touch,
sensations we
pain.
can
Touch and pain, sir.
touch? So when you touch, what you can sense?
Yeah, and pain.
Yes, pain. Good.
So temperature.
When you, good, excellent, excellent. So when you're touching, the temperature, either it is cold or hot, soft or
Hard.
hardness can also be okay.
Yeah.
Then sensation of pain, excellent. Okay, we're sensing pain also. Good. So likewise, sense organs have specialized cells called receptors, so which will take up one type of, okay, sensory information. So they take the sensory information from there, so they will be carried to where?
To the brain.
Good. Brain, because brain is the part of what?
CNS. I mean,
CNS,
nervous system.
nervous system.
Yeah.
And we know that we already talked about. So brain is the central part of the entire nervous system, or entire nervous system is being operated or controlled by this particular brain. Okay, central nervous system. And also we talked about types of nerves. Did you remember that?
Yes, sir.
So how many types of nerves would be there? Sensory and motor nerves, some would be mixed nerves also. Okay, sensory nerves. So these nerves are getting connected to the terminals of these, okay, sensory receptors. So with the help of sense organs, receptors, we are receiving or taking this particular information, sensory information. So they are getting carried with the help of sensory nerves to the brain, because brain is the central nervous system which is going to, okay, act, or it is a relay station. So it takes all the information, okay, then we feel, or when only we can sense that particular sensation. For example, we talked about touch, either it is soft, hard, or whether it is cold or hot. Okay, so that is being sensed. Up here, did you understand? Sensation. So how is this particular process of sensation is starting with? It is starting with sense organs. Sense organs have what? Specialized cells called receptors. So these receptors are specialized, or they are selective. They take only one type of particular sensory information. For example, eyes, visual or images they take, like ears, auditory. Okay, then they carry it to the particular, okay, sensory or the nervous system. From there it will sense. So once it is sensed, what happens then? For example, just you have touched something. So if thinking that if it is immediately carried to the
Brain.
brain, then what all happens in the brain?
It processes and then tells us how to react.
Yes, Pujita is saying response. Okay, good. But before you respond, what all happens? Yes, it is getting analyzed. Excellent. So when it is analyzed, so what all it is checking about? We talked about the previous memories, experiences we talked about.
Yes.
If a small child know what he does actually, small child, what he does, if he's touching a hot body, what he does?
He cries.
He cries, but you don't know what to do. We have these reflex actions which say that, okay, just they will leave that. But if the person is not able to decide, if it is a first experience for him, so what has to be done? Can you jump onto the conclusions and start getting into action? Maybe nobody is simply crying in a dilemma what to do.
Yeah. We have to teach him, sir.
Yes, but as a grown-up, so over a period of time, based on our experiences, okay, we know that maybe because of this particular thing, so what you are sensing, and if you just leave or just you come out of that, you can be out of that particular sensation. Okay, so something is already into our brain, as we talked about. Okay, tabula rasa or empty slate. So all your experiences are written there. So these experiences are remaining there, and when this particular sensory information is entering into the brain, so there it is getting analyzed with already established experiences. Then it is going to decide either it is good, bad, painful, hurting, dangerous. Then immediately the information will be sent to that particular part. For example, if it is a hand, then what to do? That is how to respond. Then you try to respond, either you're taking your hand back or all that. So how much of time it is taking?
Within seconds, sir.
Fraction of seconds. Okay, doesn't mean that you touch there. Okay, you're waiting for the signals to go there. The things are happening. then immediately you're reacting and all that. Okay, maybe it is a first time. For example, if you have seen something new, you have seen something new, is it going to take immediate,
No, sir.
or it's going to take a little bit of time?
Little bit of time.
So for the processing, it may take a little bit of time. Okay, immediately the picture will be sent to the brain, so there to start, okay, analyzing. So maybe if it is having a tail, then it will, okay, look for, okay, what all can have a tail, okay, 4 legs, okay, maybe it's looking for, okay, what are the things we have seen or we have in the experience, okay, what it is resembling like, then what are the similarities, what are the differences. Can all things this can be done?
Yes, sir.
What it is resembling, or how, if it is resembling, in what way it is different from the things what we have seen already. Then it may finally arrive at one particular conclusion, and it may say, hey, this is a different type of a dog. Okay, so giving a meaning or interpretation, so that is called as perception. So sensation is about the sensing of the particular, okay, the environmental information. So when you sense that, okay, and if it is hot or cold, if it's soft or hard, how soft it is, how hard it is, how cold it is, how hot it is, when you're trying to give a meaning to that particular, okay, experience, the further processing, that is called as the perception. Sensation and perception. Then it will immediately return back, or the impulses will come back through the motor nerves. Then immediately the signal will be sent to that particular organ which have sent the information. That particular action would be taken up with that particular organ. If it is with a leg or a hand, or if it is touching something, okay, then immediately that part is going to react, and this is how we sense, okay, or we experience different things in our environment. Did you understand up to this?
Yes, sir.
For example, environment, or what we call as a stimulus, sense organs, they have receptors, they take up the information, they send it back to the, okay, brain. In the brain, they're getting analyzed, okay, up to that a sensation. But when you're trying to give it a meaning, so this meaning based on the previous experiences or what all memories we have, and if it is arriving at a conclusion, giving a meaning to that particular experience, so that is ending up with a perception, and immediately it will return back, or the signals would be sent back with the help of motor nerves. It will come to that particular affected organ, the organ will take the action. So all these things would be taking or happening within a fraction of seconds. Okay, and also I said, when we talked in terms of nervous system, there is a concept called, okay, all or none. Did you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Either signals would be carried completely, or they will not be sensed at all.
Yes.
And also I talked about a word called threshold. Did you remember that?
Yes, sir.
That is the reason we are not sensing everything whatever you are coming across, but we sense only certain things. Even if you're walking with barefoot also, just think about, you don't, okay, experience all the things which are pricking, maybe everything may be pricking, but the one which is having certain level of being getting recognized, you are only sensing those things. You agree with this?
Yes, sir.
So that particular minimum level which is required to get sensed is called as the absolute threshold.
Threshold.
Okay, minimum should be there. If you're touching that particular minimum level, then only it is getting sensed. All the process would be taken. If not, it won't be getting recognized at all. It won't fire that particular nerves actually. So now firing would be there. The nerve impulses would be getting carried out. Okay, so this is how they are ignored and not sensed. Okay, the minimum required is the absolute threshold. Then the minimum magnitude or the quantity or the thing which is required to make a sense of a difference. For example, weight, a point at where you can say the weight has been either increased or decreased. If you're saying, okay, it was 1 kg, if you're keeping on adding, can you sense that? At one particular level, you may tell that, okay, yes, the weight is increasing. So that particular minimum required where you can make a difference or sense that the difference is there. So that is called as a difference threshold. If you have 1 kg, if you start adding certain grains now, maybe to certain extent you don't recognize. You agree with this?
Yes, sir.
But as I start adding, maybe once they reach a level where you can start sensing, yes, it's getting a little bit heavy now. So that particular amount which is required to sense a difference is called as a difference threshold. So this is how this particular sensation works. And this is the reason we don't sense everything, but we sense only certain things. Okay, so this is given by signal detection theory. And now there is a concept called sensory adaptation. Okay, so sensory adaptation says that when there is a stimulus, and if that stimulus is at a constant, for example, if you are nearby a railway track, we start sensing initially, but over a period of time, can we sense that? Is it making any difference?
No, sir.
For example, watch sound. Is it only at nights we experience them because it's being a little bit of silent there? Initially, you may be facing a problem because of the sound, but over a period of time, is it having the same disturbance on you?
No, sir.
If you have visited a place, if it is having certain, okay, maybe a industry, a chemical. So once if you go there, you start sensing that particular chemical. But if you start staying there for a long period, can you sense that anymore?
No, sir.
For example, if you're nearby a bakery, if they're baking something, so initially you may start smelling that. Over a period of time, can you sense that?
No, sir.
So that is called as sensory adaptation. So our sensation have this ability where if it is not changing for over a period of a time, so they get adapted for that. For example, nalas and all that, no, if you visit, no, if you're just crossing them also, you feel that, you can sense that smell, etc. But if you started staying there for a bit longer time, no, it is no more having effect on your smell sensation. You agree with this?
Yes, sir.
I said it in the other way, that is a bakery, or if you have a maybe a chocolate or a coffee, like for example a brew bond and etc. If you're staying nearby that, with the brewing sound, etc., okay, with the smell of that, when they roast this coffee beans, etc., initially you may be having that sensation, but over a period of time you get adapted to that and it's no more having that particular sensation. Okay, so this is how we are surviving. For example, each and every time if it starts sensing the same smell, maybe you become, it's become very, very difficult for us to survive there. You agree with this?
Yes, sir.
Initially we may sense that, but over a period of time, same thing, okay, the same stimulus, it is no more sensible, or it is not having the much effect as it was. So sensory adaptation. Okay, then in the page number, please write down page number 94. They're talking about different senses, sense organs. Okay, for example, sight, light, hearing, sound waves. Okay, external sensations, the smell, taste, all that they're talking about. Okay, kinesthetic is the body movements, okay, muscles, etc. Okay, and also there are certain characteristics or attributions for sensation, like certain quality has to be there. Okay, certain intensity. Okay, duration, for how long it is. As I talked about, if it is over a period of long period of time, okay, sensory adaptation, and it is has to be presented for a minimum of certain time, as we talked about threshold, etc. Then only we can sense them. Okay, extensity and the local sign. So local sign is the one where, for example, if within the same part, if you're pricking, okay, so they may not sense, but if you start pricking in one particular point, they may got or they may start experiencing the sensations. Okay, maybe entire palm, if you start pricking, no, maybe it is same, but when it comes to the face, if you start pricking at different regions, will it be same? If you start pricking at different points on a palm, so almost all it's going to be similar in certain conditions, but when it comes to regarding your face, etc., is your cheeks as sensitive as that of eye or nearby eye areas? Nose equally sensitive as that of your cheek? They're different. So this is how, if you think that, okay, if the skin, within the skin, the same sensation may be no. So based on the location, if it is the same skin also, the pain would be different based on the location. That is called as local sign. Though it is the same skin, but the sensation can be different based on the sensitivity or based on the location. Okay, so then they have given this eye structure, then ear. Okay, just download this from the Google, just go through different, okay, parts. Okay, external ear, we have the middle ear. So touching to the middle ear, we have a drum. So this particular drum is getting vibrated when sound waves enter into the ear. So they will travel and reach this particular middle ear. So attached to the middle ear is the layer, okay, or a membrane, which is called as. So when this membrane is vibrated based on the different sounds, different intensities, they're getting vibrated at a different areas. So when they are getting vibrated at a different areas, so this is how we sense different sounds or different intensities. So this is one of the theories of hearing. So how we are able to sense different sounds? When different areas of the drum or the membrane, which is attached to the middle ear, is getting vibrated. So when different places are vibrating, they produce different sounds. As simple as that. Is that okay? So Hermann Helmholtz's theory of hearing or place theory. Hermann Helmholtz's theory, or it is called place theory, which says that when different places of the eardrum are vibrated, so this is how you sense or you hear different sounds. They produce different sounds. So this is how we sense different sounds. When it comes to ears, when it comes to eyes, that is the sensation. As you know, rods and cones would be there. Okay, just go through. Yeah, just go through that particular. Okay, the structure of eye there. Okay, cells would be there. Okay, they call cones and rods. So when rods are activated, so they receive different or they perceive different colors. Okay, when cones are excited or when cones are activated, though they receive different type of light. So cones and rods or the cells, or they have this specialized ability to sense certain colors only. For example, red yellow combination, yellow green combination, white and black combinations. Okay, so these rods and cones are going to decide, or they will sense that particular colors from the environment, that is images or visuals, and that they would sense that and send it to the retina, and from where the retina you sense or you give meaning and you identify different, okay, colors. So this is with regard to our eye or the vision. So rods and cones or different cells have different abilities to identify or recognize different colors, even that in the color combinations like yellow green, okay, black and white, the combinations would be there, so they would be sensed and you will be getting this knowledge about the colors from the environment. So this is with regard to the topic called sensation. So can we stop here?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so my advice would be you just search structure of eye, structure of ear. Okay, very much available in the Google. Okay, just look at that, you will understand that. Okay, so see you all in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
When coming for growth and